Ada belasan artikel dan video yang sudah saya tulis berkaitan dengan meditasi. Anda bisa lihat di beberapa akun medsos saya seperti Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, dan lain-lain. Kebanyakan dari artikel dan video itu berkaitan dengan riset sains seputar meditasi. Misalnya, apa yang berubah di otak dan apa benefitnya, termasuk sejarah awal meditasi di masa ribuan tahun lalu. Saya juga menulis mengenai cara meditasi, terutama sekali cara yang diberikan sains. Nah, di video kali ini saya memberikan sekali lagi cara meditasi menurut beberapa ahli dan juga dari Buddhist monk yang ikut menganjurkan meditasi dengan cara sains. Ada satu poin penting yang ingin saya tekankan dalam video ini, yaitu ada banyak video yang tersedia di berbagai media yang isinya untuk membimbing Anda dalam cara meditasi. Sedangkan video-video yang telah saya buat adalah ringkasan dari berbagai video atau artikel yang bertebaran di berbagai media itu. Nanti Anda akan simak beberapa ahli dalam video ini yang menyampaikan bahwa meditasi bukan mengosongkan pikiran, karena itu tidak mungkin. Meditasi menurut sains sangat sederhana namun sangat memberi benefit yang besar jika dilakukan teratur setiap hari. Kita simak dulu apa kata para ahli mengenai meditasi berikut ini ya. Nanti setelah itu saya akan membahas beberapa hal sebagai penutup video ini.
And be aware of all the thoughts moving through your mind and how it is in the body, lying there on your back maybe. And just getting in touch with your breath and a sense of your whole body lying here. So everybody's got time for that. Maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 breaths, but at least you've tuned. And if you want to do it longer, wake up a little earlier, do it for half an hour. You don't even have to get out of bed. And that way, no more excuses like, I don't have any time to meditate. Of course you have time to meditate. And if this is as important as I'm saying, you don't have time not to meditate. Because the potential value in terms of health and well-being is extraordinary.
And we don't have to sit in a chair practicing mindfulness meditation for too long to realize that most of the time when we're trying to pay attention, our mind's all over the place. So learning to notice, not to judge or react to the fact that the mind gets distracted, to be more accepting and open, to notice when the attention goes off, to gently bring it back. So in mindfulness meditation practice, that would be to the body or the breathing, for example. So learning to practice that for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe say twice a day before our working day, so early in the day and maybe early in the evening between our working day, say, and our evening. It would be a good sort of time for the formal practice of mindfulness meditation.
So there's now a whole host of studies underway that mainly with kids, because it's where ADD tends to show up first, where they're helping them strengthen the muscle of attention. And you can, I was in a classroom of 7-year-olds in Spanish Harlem. This is a very impoverished area of New York City. And those kids live in housing projects. They have very troubled lives. And some of them had ADD. In fact, half the kids in that classroom had what are called special needs, ranging from ADD to autism. I thought the classroom would be totally chaotic, but actually the kids were calm and focused. And the teacher said, here's why. And then they did their daily ritual of what they call belly buddies. Each child, one by one, went to their cubby, got a favorite little stuffed animal, found a place to lie down on a rug, put that animal on their belly, and then they listened to a tape that guided them through watching the belly rise on the in-breath, fall on the out-breath, 1, 2, 3 on the in-breath, 1, 2, 3 on the out-breath. This is basically the beginning of mindfulness or meditation for kids.
We can meditate everywhere, anytime, even 3 seconds, 2 seconds, while you're walking, while you're having coffee and tea, while you're having meeting, so you can meditate. Many people has a little bit misunderstanding about meditation. They think meditation meaning think of nothing, concentrate. So push too much. So we cannot block thought and emotion. In fact, we need thought and emotion. So whether you listen to your monkey mind or not, there's an issue. What I call monkey mind, mine is chatting, pala 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 yada yada. So monkey mind is giving your opinion. So whether you listen to opinion or not, it's up to you, right? So through meditation, what we do is we have to make friends with the monkey mind. But how to make friends? Just giving banana doesn't work, you know. So right method is you need to give job to monkey mind. How to give job monkey mind? So the simple meditation technique is be aware of the breath. So you ask monkey mind, hello, what's breath? So monkey mind says, yeah, good idea. And be aware of breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. There's a lot of thought comes at the background. Don't care, no problem. So as long as if you're not forget your breath, anything is okay. No need too much concentration. Just simply be aware of your breath. Breathe in, out, in. Even two breath, one breath. So therefore, we can meditate everywhere, anytime.
The two main elements of mindfulness practice are attention and attitude. So the first one is attention, and most people suffer from what I often refer to as monkey mind. Your thoughts go where they want to go, and you're not really in control of what you're thinking. So you might be thinking about something, and then another thought comes up, and then another one comes up, and another one comes up. And before you know it, you're thinking about something, and you don't even know how you got there. Mindfulness is the opposite. It is training your mind to stay present. It's training your mind to stay focused. And you can do that by focusing on anything. So the second element to mindfulness practice is attitude. That is how you pay attention. And mindfulness is all about being kind and about being non-judgmental. And many of us have a tendency to constantly judge everything, to constantly give our opinion about things. Maybe not out loud, but internally, that's a very common way of thinking. And mindfulness is really about training your thoughts to observe the facts in a kind and neutral way and not give your opinion. So in a way, it is about taming the inner critic. And what is so amazing is that when you combine paying attention to the present and doing that in a kind and non-judgmental way, you are immediately reducing stress levels in a very quick and effective way.
And when it comes to meditation, I often hear this idea that people can't meditate, they're not good at it, their brain doesn't work that way because when they've tried in the past, they cannot have a blank mind. And just to clear that up, you're never going to have a blank mind. And that's okay because our brain's job is to think. And if it stops doing that, that means we're dead. And nobody wants that. So what we're trying to do when we are doing a mindfulness meditation is that we're noticing when we're having thoughts. Okay, so you might be focusing on your breath and then you get carried away in thinking about that grocery list, the shopping that you have to do the next day. And that doesn't mean that you failed. What that means is you say, thank you, mind. You acknowledge that you had that thought, and then you return to the breath. Okay, and you might do that 100 times in a 5-minute meditation, but as you practice that, as you get better at it, it tends to be less often that you get caught up in those thoughts and carried away.
Is that meditation is really about coming to know our mind, not controlling it. And one of the most important things to know about the mind is that it's so hectic, and it's so out of control, and it's so messy. So if you sit for meditation for 1 hour and your mind is all over the place, this is not bad meditation. This is good meditation. This is how you get to know your mind.
Sebagaimana sudah kita saksikan tadi dalam video tadi ya, kata meditasi diganti dengan kata mindfulness practice. Dalam beberapa artikel atau video sebelumnya saya sudah menjelaskan mengenai mengapa kata meditasi sering diganti dengan mindfulness practice. Being in the present moment. Kalimat itu ada disebut dalam video tadi. Bagi Anda yang sudah mendalami meditasi atau mindfulness practice, mungkin sudah mendengar istilah itu. Being in the present moment. Itu kalimat yang cukup populer. Bahkan ada satu buku yang amat populer berjudul The Power of Now yang ditulis oleh Eckhart Tolle yang sering disebut sebagai spiritual teacher dan sering muncul di Oprah Show. Ada banyak sekali yang mengutip kalimat ini untuk menjelaskan bahwa untuk mendapatkan mindfulness, maka Anda harus mempraktekkan being in the present moment, yang ada lanjutan kalimatnya sebenarnya, yaitu being in the present moment intentionally and non-judgmentally. Kalimat itu tentu memerlukan penjelasan lebih lanjut. Begini penjelasannya. Salah satu neuroscientist terkenal dari New Zealand, Michael Corballis, dalam bukunya berjudul The Wandering Mind, membahas satu kecenderungan dasar pikiran manusia, yaitu mind wandering. Meski mind wandering memiliki benefit, yaitu melesatkan peradaban manusia, namun mind wandering memiliki efek samping, yaitu stres, atau Siddhartha Gautama menyebutnya penderitaan atau suffering ya. Mengenai ini bisa membaca beberapa artikel atau video saya beberapa waktu lalu. Siddhartha di masa 2300 tahun lalu sudah memberikan solusi dari efek samping dari mind wandering ini, yaitu dengan cara melakukan meditasi. Itu sebabnya beberapa neuroscientist menyebut Siddhartha adalah seorang saintis dari masa 2300 tahun yang lalu yang telah mendalami science of mind. Meditasi yang dirancang oleh Siddhartha ini diberi nama baru oleh John Kabat-Zinn dari Massachusetts University di tahun 1979, yaitu mindfulness practice. John Kabat-Zinn merancang praktik mindfulness dengan nama MBSR atau Mindfulness Based Stress Reduction untuk dalam tanda kutip ya, mengobati beberapa penyakit modern seperti jantung, diabetes, stroke, kanker, dan lain-lain. Kata mindfulness based sekarang digunakan oleh banyak orang seperti mindfulness based business, mindfulness based therapy, mindfulness based living, dan lain-lain. Apa yang diajarkan oleh John Kabat-Zinn tentang meditasi masih sama seperti yang diajarkan oleh Siddhartha 2300 tahun lalu, yaitu memperhatikan tarikan nafas masuk dan keluar. Lalu pada tahap yang lebih lanjut, memperhatikan pikiran, yaitu pikiran yang melintas, yang datang dan pergi, yang berulang-ulang, yang negatif, dan yang mengenai apa saja. Pikiran yang seperti itu disebut oleh Michael Corballis tadi ya, dan beberapa neuroscientist lainnya sebagai kecenderungan dasar pikiran atau mind wandering. Menurut riset Harvard, separuh waktu kita saat terjaga adalah melakukan mind wandering, meski kita sedang melakukan pekerjaan serius atau penting. Lagi-lagi, lihat tulisan dan video saya mengenai ini sebelumnya. Meditasi menghilangkan efek samping dari mind wandering ini. Ada banyak riset yang menunjukkan bagaimana meditasi menghilangkan efek samping dari mind wandering ini. Gambar ini menunjukkan otak meditator atau orang yang suka bermeditasi atau sudah lama bermeditasi secara teratur tentu ya. Otak mereka berbeda dengan otak yang tidak melakukan meditasi. Ada penebalan di bagian prefrontal cortex atau PFC. Sebagaimana kita tahu, PFC ini berperan dalam kemampuan kognitif, termasuk juga menentukan kesehatan mental. Pada mereka yang tidak melakukan meditasi, fungsi otak mereka secara umum menurun, yang salah satu penyebabnya adalah mind wandering. Tentu ada sebab lainnya, namun umumnya karena stres yang terjadi oleh berbagai sebab dalam kehidupan sehari-hari kita. Pengetahuan tentang stres ini sebenarnya sangat penting karena mempengaruhi berbagai aspek kehidupan kita sehari-hari. Namun, sayangnya kebanyakan orang menolak mengakui bahwa dirinya bisa mengalami stres. Karena itu, saya sudah menulis beberapa artikel dan video untuk membahas stres ini. Nah, sains sudah menemukan bahwa ternyata meditasi memang mampu menurunkan tingkat stres secara signifikan. Mereka yang memiliki tingkat stres yang tinggi tidak memiliki otak yang seperti di gambar tadi. Meditasi membuat beberapa perubahan positif di otak dan tentu saja itu artinya fungsinya juga menjadi lebih maksimal. Jadi, being in the present moment adalah sebuah praktik atau latihan sesekali setiap hari untuk terus membiasakan diri dalam menyadari bahwa pikiran Anda selalu melakukan mind wandering dan menambah tingkat stres. Lagi-lagi saya menganjurkan Anda untuk menyimak beberapa artikel atau video yang sudah saya buat mengenai topik ini. Semoga video ini bisa menjadi pembuka jalan bagi Anda yang ingin mendalami meditasi. Salam.